Hi everybody, it's Enlusion here, and welcome to this new video where I'll show you how my remix of Mindfield was created. So, as always, we're starting from the kick and the head, which works as a click for it. So together they sound like this. And this is how it sounds without the click. Quite empty. So the kick itself is quite simple, and initially it sounds like this, quite heavy. So I've worked on it and made it way shorter. I removed loads of low frequencies and removed the body of it, and also some higher frequencies because I have a separate click sound, the head, which works in that role. So I don't really need this part. So that's how it was done. The click itself is quite simple. So I've just used a preset of Gatekeeper, the great plugin from Affected Mushroom, which is called Click, and it's amazing. Saves lots of time, to be honest. Okay, next we have a sub bass, which is made out of audio sample, actually. The first sub bass. So I've just took a pattern from my Amber project and just used it as an intro. And then, yeah, it sounds like this. Just some rumble. And then I've used a sample from Activa's Trance Essentials Volume 2 pack and made the transition here so we can hear how it sounds. Yeah, and you can understand how this works even better when I turn all the mix in. Yeah, actually it's a trick of Basiloglu to change the bass lines like this. So in the intro section, in the very much intro, you have this rumble and then you change into the rolling bass. And then I've duplicated the sub bass, which is really quite simple. It's almost entirely in the mono and some side chaining via kickstart. And for mid bass, yeah, it's exactly the same pattern, just with a different synth. Yeah, I have applied my default techniques here, house effect and loads of sidechain. I have two of them actually here. They work a bit differently from each other. So next we have the percussions group. As always, loads of various one-shots, but we're starting with ride. Quite default ride, which I tend to use quite often. And I have transposed it a bit down as I wanted the mix to be darker. And then it starts like this, and then starts playing faster more often. And when this faster section begins, you can see that I have increased the side chain volume. So here it's like 50% and then it starts at 64. And these changes go through entire track. Yeah, so here we just approached the breakdown section, and I decided to make it less dynamic. So I didn't just go for this, and this way it could have been a bit more fast than I wanted the track to sound in the intersection before the breakdown. So that's the right, and then we have my standard tones, I think. Yes, left right channel, perfect. They play in the second part of the track quite often, 4 times. Then we have some one-shots. Yeah, they append 25 to the left. And I think I took this one from my Crystal Nova remix. And then we have some head. And I've removed some of the resonating frequencies here, as I always do. Loads of EQing in my tracks. And another head. They work together exactly how I wanted them to. So this one is penned 50% in mono, not penned, but made in terms of stereo mono work. So next we have this, and don't really know what is this. Let's check. Ah, yeah, some one shots percussive. Yep, and that's all. Yeah, so you can see that I've used different parts of this loop. So at first it's only this part, then it's only this in the second part of the loop, and then it's also in the first one and this sound. And in the fourth iteration, it's this sound. So I've used 4 different sections of the same loop. Yep, and they just repeat afterwards. Then we have this one, and it's another loop. And I think this one is the kick or clap. Let's check it. Yeah, it's a clap. So I have moved to the starting point of the loop. So it starts from the clap, actually, not from the kick. So it's mostly about this percussive element, but I've also decided to keep this short part of the clap to make the overall clap or snare, however you call it, fatter. That's how I wanted it to sound. Then we have shaker, my default shaker, I think. Actually used another sample this time. And then another clap. Yep, some standard processing. Actually, this one was taken from another loop, and then I recorded it. So I removed all other parts from that loop and only left the clap here. And then I've applied the reverb, because otherwise the reverb would cut, because I've cut the loop itself in the audio. So yeah, in such cases I have to record the audio and then apply the reverb. Then some more one-shots. And I think all of them are from the same loop. Yeah, this one. So if I go here, and that's how it sounded originally. So I've started it from a completely different point here. For example, in this case, and used some of those sounds, not all of them, in a different way. And it just goes on and on through entire track. Then this one, I've only used these short elements, and then also this one. Actually, this one is definitely not even audible, but I think I've completely forgotten about this one. Doesn't matter. No real processing here, it's just default things where I remove all the frequencies which are not really needed for percussions. And then what is this? Yeah, some more one-shots. So in this case, I only used these sounds. And I think this sound contributed to the overall clap or snare, however you call it. And then we have this thing. Yeah, claps. So I've taken them from this loop, and you can see that the starting point of this loop is here. Yeah, don't even ask me why I made it like this. And that's more or less all about the percussion. So together with the kick and bass, they sound like this. Let me find the best part here. Yeah, I've completely forgotten to show you this part. So I made these mixing elements with the kick, some kind of transitional elements. Yeah, so basically just removed the lower frequencies from the kick and made this transition manually. And you can see that I've removed the click here as well and removed the sub bass as well. If we go next, so next we have these pad from the original. Yes, I've actually used at least something from the original, which is not too easy to find, actually. Yep, and that's more or less all, to be honest. And definitely wasn't enough. So then I have just added more progression to this pad, and you will hear that later. Then these plugs from the original as well. A bit of reverb. And then this texture. So people had definitely no idea how I created it and thought that it's something completely new, but actually it's made out of the original nibbler lid, how it's called, whatever that means in English, no idea. So basically, if I remove all the plugins, you will recognize it from the original instantly. It's just looped only this part. But I did not want to use that. So for the texture, I went for the first two bars. And basically just added reverb, EQ, made it sounding a bit more in the side. Added some sidechain via gatekeeper. Added harsh effect, of course, for the better mix down, and of course the automation of the equalizer. So it sounds like this. That's how I made this texture in this remix. And if we're going next, well, we have this another original element. Absolutely love it, to be honest. Yeah, I used it quite frequently in this remix. And I did not even add any reverb to it because I thought that Zach has actually used enough of it already. So just added house effect, moved it a bit to the mid section of the panorama, and cut a bit of higher frequencies sometimes. So yeah, not too many genius things here. Next we have this. So that is something which I've added. Some one-shots, stubby one-shots, which I love, inspired by Ovni Moon and Basiloglu. I think I used two different sounds, yeah. Okay, next. This is also from the original. Effects, yeah. This is definitely not interesting. Next, some more sounds from the original, and this is sweeps. Not too many things on the processing side. Next, this pad. What is this? Yeah, some more pads, as I thought that I didn't have enough of them. Next, here are the creative things which I have added to this remix. Don't even ask me how I came up with this. Don't do that. Amazing guitar sound. I just couldn't resist and made this section. I think it's made out of some original MIDI, but we will not check that now. Next, some more creative things. Yeah, amazing automated ARP. You can see that a lot of things are automated here. And then what we have next? Next we have these vocal pads, as I call them. Yep, again, all these pads from my previous productions. And then I used these recordings. I think I recorded it from some synth. Yep. And I think I've only used it in the intro, yeah. Not even in the outro. Then I have this. Yeah, so this snare. How you call it in English? I think you understand what I mean. Yeah, drum fills, of course. And actually, these are not straightforward. So I used different starting point and actually even warped it differently. And then the second one. This is more or less same as in the original version, but yeah, I think I moved some of the drums here and there. And they don't play in the second part of the track. And then we have some effects, right? Yep. Yeah, love this impact. And finally we have the main pad. So in the original track we only had this, and that's all. And I thought it's not enough, so I went for the similar progression as I had in my Crystal Nova remix for Slavlotsky on Juve Aura, and came up with this. And don't mind that this color is so not bright, I would say. These notes are also playing, so all of them are actually playing. Definitely inspired by Ferry Corsten, I think. And then this was the drop section, I think. Yeah, so I looped the first 2 bars, just like in the original track from Hoopoe. And then I went for the same progression as here with some automations. So if we talk about the automations, I've used the Gatekeeper and applied a similar partner as guys from Infected Mushroom use quite a lot in their classic tracks. Again, automated, of course. And the synth itself is also automated. As for the processing side, so I used, of course, the EQ, some compressor, the house effect via delay, and sidechain. Yeah, not in the entire part of the track, but in the drop section I went for 73%, and in the breakdown I've only used like 20 just to make the things moving. Yeah, and this gatekeeper, and of course a lot of reverb. And then we also have this one. I think it's another creative thing in the breakdown. Yeah, so this is definitely inspired by Bazaloglu. Yeah. If you ask me how I came up with this, it's quite easy to answer because this more or less is duplicated version of the pads, and I've moved some of the notes up or down, but overall it's very similar to this pattern. So I've just really went for something like this and just duplicated the things. And where if we go next? So standard pad bass. Yeah, I love this pad bass. I am heavily inspired by the Cold Harbor sounds from mid-80s. This one is some effects hit from the original actually. And next, yeah, this was the speech. Or what was it? It was the sound, which I removed actually from my remix as I thought it's too cheesy to be honest. Yeah, so I just removed it. And then some more sounds from the original. And this one is the speech. So you can see how I duplicated and looped this part.
Speed. No, not on anything.
And one more trick, so you can see that the house effect only becomes active when the kick starts playing.
Speed. No, not on anything.
So the speech is more audible in the mix if you add this house effect via delay. That's why I applied it like this.
Speed. No, not on anything.
Then this one was actually disabled. Yeah, I can just remove it from here. And this one is some reverse cymbal. Yeah, I just used the cymbal trick that Jeremy Rowlett is using in his productions. And these reverse cymbals are always in his tracks. And this one is the last item of this project, just down filter. And there we have it. So quite a lot of different things in just one project. It's quite unique, it's quite different, maybe far from the original, but I still really love what I did here. And yeah, that would do it. So I'm just gonna play the entire track now. Yeah, so that's it. I hope you enjoyed this walkthrough and maybe found something interesting for yourself. Well, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. You can grab this remix of Mindfield by myself and Enlusion starting from this Friday. It's already available for pre-order on Beatport and for pre-saving on Spotify. Take a look at my socials for the links, and it's going to be definitely added in the comments section here on YouTube or on Patreon if you are watching this video there. In such case, thank you very much. All right, so again, appreciate your time and see you next time. Bye for now.